So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot. Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Kick it.
Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the LaTangela Show podcast. You never know who's going to be in the hot seat or on the tan line, but I tell you this, today, it definitely makes my heart smile to see this individual finally join me in the hot seat and on the tan line, because he's always busy, going around the globe, doing some phenomenal things and leading in the spirit of excellence. The founder of Dynamic Cares, with a heart that serves and continuously gives and encourages others to do the same. How are you, Darius Thomas?
I am phenomenal. Thank you so much for having me here. I wouldn't rather be anywhere else in the world right now.
I want you to think of this as an extension of your office. As you continue to do the work, let's continue to keep the line of communication open and to encourage others to join the movement. What you do, it truly matters. And you've been doing this work for quite some time. Tell me a little bit about Dynamic Cares as the founder.
Absolutely. So Dynamic Cares is a registered 501c3. We support people with disabilities who cannot afford the services. I started the company a few years ago because I saw that there was a need for people with disabilities to receive their occupational therapy, their physical therapy, and their speech therapy services. There are clients that are currently going without, and I wanted to fill that void by giving them the tools and the resources they need to not just survive in life, but to thrive. And so with Dynamic Cares, we are supporting those clients with disabilities, and we're also supporting the families who are seeing value in their kiddos making progress.
I love that. And being that there is such a great need, I know currently you all have granted over $500,000 worth of scholarships, which means that there is a great need, and there's a void that's there. So when you start talking about the health and wellness and wraparound services and the disabilities, kind of narrow that down a little bit for me on your day-to-day walk.
Absolutely. So when we think about clients who need support, families reach out to us and say, hey, Johnny needs speech therapy, but my insurance company continues to deny him because he's now 18 years old. So my child doesn't have the social communication skills they need to be successful in life, and we have nowhere else to go. And so by way of that initial conversation, we'll say, hey, we have donors and sponsors that contribute to Dynamic Care. So now we can give you these services, and we can pay for these services to take place at your selected company that you have in mind for where you would like your kiddo to receive the services. So Dynamic Cares, one, provides the scholarships for speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy, but then we have programs as well for people to receive supports and services through us, i.e. parent support groups or inclusive education workshops. And so we try to be inclusive and holistic in our care for those with disabilities.
Now, when you say inclusive, people may hear the terms, they may be familiar with certain phrases, but there are some triggers that we are probably oblivious to and need to be educated on that as a whole. So when you start talking about the family support members, a cousin might walk in and say something that they don't know is offensive, but it indeed is. What are some of those triggers? Just maybe a couple.
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, just to acknowledge inclusive, when I say inclusive, I'm referring to being comprehensive. I'm thinking about being accepting to all, not just some. And then when we think about triggers, I want us to avoid saying the word normal. And instead we say typical, because when you say someone is normal, that means that someone is abnormal. So maybe someone has a typical behavior that is more common to you, and then this other person is more showing some atypical behaviors. We need to take away this box of putting people in them based off of how they show up in the world. We're around people all the time with ADHD, autism spectrum disorder, and we no longer need to say, oh, that person can't navigate life successfully, but hey, maybe with some tools and resources, they can be just as successful as the next person.
And even when you mention being on spectrum, that is such a wide variety of different ways that people would be able to say, don't put me in a box, because this spectrum kind of gives a connotation as of what's this and what's that. So it is case by case, and we don't ever want to be, just insensitive towards those needs. But if we're not having these conversations often, or if it's not on our doorstep, it's not that it's not important, it's just that we may not know. So it's important that we have these conversations. And I know that you're doing that and doing the work, including the family workshops, because that village, it has to grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I see great value in the programs that we offer. And just to be honest with you, and something that I want to share out with the world is that I don't want us to just be filling a void, but I want us to find ways to create real change in this world. I don't want us to just donate and provide a scholarship to one person that needs supports and services, but let's fix the ultimate problem, why these students are not able to get the supports and services that they need to be successful in the first place.
That's a big question. Like, who do we contact for that? So many people are willing to cast blame, but they're not asking the questions as of, well, who's controlling the narrative to say that at 18, this should cut off?
Absolutely.
At a certain price point, this should be capped out. Those are
Correct.
the real questions that need the real answers, because to say that you have given nearly $500,000 worth of services, what if there was not a dynamic cares available? So then those services would not be provided. Those families are suffering, and they are suffering in silence because it's falling on deaf ears to those who are not hearing or concerned with the issues at hand. When you start doing these type of programs and we're reaching out to our locally elected officials, and we're asking about these grants, we're supporting these initiatives, what has been the greatest hurdle for you and your team to show them the importance?
Awareness, them placing their time, effort, and energy on people with disabilities. A lot of times people look at marginalized groups and say, oh, they'll be okay. Oh, we don't need to offer our supports and service over there. Oh, someone else will take care of it. We need to bring awareness. And I am hoping that the Dynamic Cares all-white charity brunch on April 5th, 2025 is a way to pull out all the sparkles, all the fireworks to bring acceptance and awareness to those with disabilities. We need to show people that those people are human just like the next person, but they may need more support. And let's bring some acceptance to that, and let's do something about it.
I'm excited about this brunch. It's in Atlanta. It's a field trip that I am excited to make and serve as the hostess for this. And we're going to get to that in a second. But I want to encourage others in different areas to not only spark up the conversation, but for those who are providing these wraparound services, those vendors, you want them to be reflective as of you and your vision and your heart with all of this. So how do you know that it's a good fit, not just because they provide the services, but because these families will then say, Darius sent me over here. And that's the only thing they're going to remember. Darius sent me over here. Like,
Yeah. So, I don't know which way I want to take that answer. Ask the question once more, and I'm going to see where my brain takes me.
how is it that you know that the wraparound services and those vendors are aligned with your vision?
Absolutely. That's a phenomenal question. So we do research. When students and parents apply for scholarships for physical therapy, occupational therapy, or speech therapy, we research the companies, we research their need, and then we grant those scholarships based off of that full application packet. We're not just giving out money to any and everybody that's like, hey, I need $20 for a speech therapy session. No, like, what is the true cause? Why aren't you able to pay for these services? And who is it that you're trying to get these services from? Are they accredited? Are they validated? Are they a part of the business bureau, for example? And so we make sure we do our due justice to make sure that we're not just handing out money willy-nilly, but it's going to those who truly need it.
That is good work. Excellent work. And I know once they log on to the website, we love dynamiccares.com. They'll get all of the details if they want to be a sponsor, if they would like to be a vendor, if they would like to have a local chapter in their area, if they want to learn more about the services that you provide, or even some of the bullet points that can strike up the conversation and keep this initiative moving forward in the right direction.
Absolutely.
April 2025, Atlanta, where are we going for this brunch?
We are going to the world-renowned Georgia Aquarium, and I am ecstatic about it.
Yeah, that is awesome. Like when you say think outside of the box, sir, like what?
Yes. We are literally going to be sitting in a ballroom where there'll be whales and sharks and fish swimming, and they are going to be just ecstatic to see us there because we're going to be raising money for people with disabilities, but also we're going to have a great time. It's going to be an all-white attire brunch. We have an open bar for the first hour of the event. It's going to be dynamic. We have giveaways and raffles and silent auction and everything else that's going to take place that day. And I just know that people will feel rejuvenated, revived, excited, and ready to champion the word disabilities more often than not.
Yes, and this is definitely going to be one of those Darius Thomas events. So expect nothing less than excellence. Been
Yeah.
around the world doing the work, and you have some amazing partners and a wonderful team that helps you get this done. And I am so proud of you because this is definitely a work that is tireless in efforts. It doesn't have an on and off switch. It's not a 9 to 5. It's a need that's there, and think of this as an extension of your office in real talk, because so many listeners and so many viewers don't really know how to start the conversation, don't know when it's a safe space to say what they may be thinking. And I don't ever want to ask questions and feel stupid asking the questions. Well, no, the only stupid thing is not to ask the question.
That's right.
So let's do that. And of course, I want everyone to log on, check out more details. We love dynamiccares.com. It's a field trip to Atlanta. I'm excited to be there. Tell the Wells we are coming through with all of the glitz, the glams. We're having some fun and raising some funds.
Yes, that's right. And I can't wait. I'm so grateful for you and so happy that you're going to be there as our hostess with the mostest and bringing all of the energy and the good vibes. And I know that we will be successful and we will overcome, and people with disabilities will receive all the supports and services that they need to not just survive, but to thrive.
Absolutely. I know you have more work to do. So I'm going to let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
I love you too. Thank you so much.